Okay, you can hear me, right?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, everybody, and welcome to our FuXion Facebook Live Thursday night presentation. Give us some love. Let us know that you're here. Give us some hearts. So happy to have you join us tonight. And we're going to get started. We are so excited to share something with you that really can be potentially life-changing. And I love January. It's a great time, well, if not for resolutions, at least to look ahead 365 days and say, what can we create in our lives? What can we create this year that can really give us something extra, whether it's extra health, extra energy, or some extra money to do those things that we really want to do and accomplish in our lives. And we have all experienced this in our life. And the way we did that was through having a home business with leveraged sales and a company that we've discovered called FuXion. And I know for me, when this business found me, I was literally laying in bed at night going, what's next? How am I ever going to retire? This isn't working. I haven't planned well. I never thought I'd be this old. And I say this industry and this business found me because literally I didn't plan for this. But when I was introduced to it, I knew that I had to pay attention because I had been asking. And so I hope you'll pay attention to maybe you've been asking. So my guests tonight are Jaylee Mestis from Durango, Colorado, Karen Hedman from Boulder, Colorado, and Ross Decker all the way from New York City. Thanks for being here, guys. And Jaylee, I'm going to ask you to share a little bit about this business model, about leverage sales and what we do, and then why you chose this as a way to facilitate what you want in your life. And then Ross and Karen will share that as well. So take it away.
Okay. Well, I'm going to go through a very highly technical presentation. Can you hear me? Okay. So I'm going to go through a very technical presentation with my notes. So I'm going to talk to you about two forms of income: leveraged income and residual income. And these are the two forms of income that in this modern day and age, it really allows you to get whatever you want. Okay, so let me repeat that. These are two forms of income that in this modern day and age, you can get whatever you want. So the first one is leveraged income, and I like to equate that to financial freedom. Okay, so let's do an example of leveraged income. So let's say that there is a real estate brokerage. Oops, let's do this side. So real estate brokerage has leveraged income over its real estate agents. So every single time a real estate agent makes a transaction, the brokerage will get a percentage of that transaction. Okay, so that's called leverage. And one thing that I'm sure that you guys have all heard about is a very famous quote from John D. Rockefeller that says, I would rather earn 1% of 100 people's efforts than 100% of my own efforts. So that's what we're talking about in this business model, is leveraged income. So that's one piece, okay? The second piece that we're going to talk about, though, is residual income. And what I like to equate that to is time freedom. So an example of this would be a recording artist or a published author, okay? So residual means that you work really, really hard in the beginning. And oftentimes you may work for months or years on a project and not even get paid, not even get compensated. But then once that project is complete and it's put out to the market and people buy it on a consistent basis, that's called residuals. So it's estimated that Elvis Presley now has more residual income than he did when he was alive. Okay. Now you may be asking, well, I'm not in the real estate profession, or I'm not an artist, I'm not a published author. So how can I attain leveraged residual income? And there is definitely a way for you to have both. And that's what Penny alluded to, is leveraged sales. Okay, so that's what this presentation is going to be about. But before I send it over to Ross, I just want to tell you why I personally chose leveraged sales. And basically it was out of necessity. I did not have access to this before, or at least it wasn't in my knowledge. And I was a middle school teacher. I loved my job, but I had a lot of health issues. And then towards the end of my teaching career, about 7 years into it, my mother was dying. And so I didn't have a lot of time off built up. And so I went to my principal. I told him that my mom was dying. She was in the last days of her life. And I asked if I could go home and be with her. And he told me no. And it was at that moment that I was, number one, just, I couldn't believe that somebody told me no. But then I realized that, you know what? I'm not going to let anybody tell me how I can spend my time, how I can spend my days, who I can be with. And so that's why I chose leveraged sales. I'm not a business owner. I've never had any business experience, but I had a lot of passion and I loved teaching. And so that's why I chose leverage sales, and it's been 20 years and I've not worked since. So I've been able to be with my kids in every single sports function, any school outing, and I own my time. So that's why I chose leverage sales. I'm going to send it over to you, Ross.
Thanks, Jaylee, and thank you for that very powerful story. I know that that's something that will ring true with a lot of people who are watching tonight. Wow. My perspective is a little bit different. I am a business owner. I've had a small pest control firm based in Manhattan for almost 20 years, and it got off to a great start, and we were doing very well. But then the economy tanked, and my business was directly affected. So, we did the best to keep that together, and we were pumping our own personal money into it. We had employees. We couldn't just let people go. And, as a business owner, my experience became the first thing I thought about in the morning, and the last thing I thought about before I went to bed was, am I going to collect enough money this week to make payroll? And guess what? If I didn't make enough money if I didn't collect enough money to make payroll, guess who doesn't get paid? This guy. I've got to be the last guy to get paid. My employees, they did the work, they expect a check on Friday, and they deserve it. So there's only there's a finite number of Fridays that you can go without taking a paycheck before things really get dicey, before you get that your phone call from my wife at the grocery store. Hey, hon, why didn't the debit card work today? And that's a scary spot to be in. So we were desperate. We needed to find something that was just for us. And it was something that we could build together, but also very important, it couldn't get in the way of what we were doing. We weren't going to give up the pest control business. Too many people depended on it, customers, employees, but we needed to find something that we could build that wasn't going to affect that. We could do it in our spare hours. We could do it after the kids went to bed. We could do it on our lunch break, or 20 minutes here, an hour here. And for us, it was residual income through network marketing. So right now, I'm going to turn it over to Karen.
Hey guys. So the thing that really stands out for me with a residual and leveraged income is both flexibility and possibility, because whether we have a great income or time freedom or our health or none of those things, it's all about what we choose to do with our life. And for me, having the flexibility of having a steady income stream and having that time freedom allows me to, number one, take better care of my health, which is a big one, have a more balanced life, be able to afford healthy foods that are good for me, have enough time to exercise. And I also have a home-based business doing massage therapy. And that is a perfect example of trading time for dollars. And when I travel, I do not get paid. And I recently had the opportunity where I needed to go back to my family on the other side of the country. And there was some big stuff going on, and I was able to change my clients and put everything on hold, hop on a plane and be in New York for a couple of weeks and spend that well-needed time, because I did have that flexibility. But I definitely was not getting paid for my massage business, but I was getting paid residual income from doing this business. And that for me is a huge part of health and balance in my life. So balance, flexibility, and a life of possibility and choice. Those are the biggest things for me. And over to you, Penny.
Oh my gosh, that was awesome, you guys. So many great reasons. And, you know, it's such an entrepreneurial journey to be a part of a business like this. And I love it because it's not a competitive business model. It's a very cooperative business model and full of growth and getting out of your comfort zone and relationships. And there's so many beautiful things about it. But of course, none of that can work if we don't have the right company and the right products. And so I know that we have all done our due diligence. When we found FuXion, we knew we hadn't seen anything else like it out there. And so now we just want to delve in for a few minutes why we chose FuXion, what we saw. So Ross, go ahead and share with us a little bit about the company itself.
Thanks, Penny. You know, when we were making the decision to partner with FuXion, you know, it was very important to us, the integrity of the people involved. It was going to be very, you know, it was going to be a key decision. So right from the top with our founder, Alvaro Zuniga, the integrity of that man, do you know, he was, I like to call it body hacking or food hacking. He was food hacking, food production hacking for a decade before FuXion came about. So it wasn't a situation of, you know, a guy and his brother-in-law in the garage, you know, coming up with this idea, you know, we should start a network marketing company. You know, well, what would we sell? You know, all right. So we go to a private label company and we get a protein powder, and then we get a protein bar, and we'll just sell it. And that wasn't the case with FuXion. You know, Alvaro, he's pretty much our personal mad scientist when he comes up with these techniques for production. So, you know, and that was the thing that really impressed me. He had been at it for so long. And then, you know, we've got these patents that fuse ancient medicinal culture with modern knowledge. The company this is something that caught my eye. The company was 11 years old, from Peru, but they had done $134 million in annual sales. So, you know, they're far and away, you know, they're the biggest health and wellness company in Latin America. They've got such a great footprint there. And now they're going to push into the United States and push into Europe. So we saw that as a tremendous opportunity to be at the forefront here in the United States of something that had a tremendous proven record in Latin America. And that was a giant check mark for us, when we took the time to look at the company. And then on top of that, the clean label designation, there's nothing in there that you wouldn't want. And again, that was something that was so important when we were looking at the company. We had our upline send the ingredients. We're gonna look at every single ingredient in this. We're gonna look at all the formulations, put our microscope, put our lab coat on, and get under the microscope and really take a look at what they were doing. And we were so pleased with with everything that was in the products and everything that was not in the products. And then finally, the B Corp certification that has just rolled out this year. And it shows that FuXion is a good partner, and it is it's a good company that's in the public benefit, and that they give back, and that they treat their employees fairly. They pay a decent wage. All of the things that you would want to hear. And it's not many companies achieve that B Corp certification. So it's it's another checkbox for us, and it's a feather in the cap for FuXion. We're proud. So I will now go back to Karen.
So you guys, we are so lucky to have access to this incredibly diverse and unique product line. And I believe these are some of the healthiest beverages on the planet, honestly. They are so delicious, and it makes it really easy to swap out with things that we might already be drinking, like coffees, teas, and juices, sodas, sports, and energy drinks. And even just to fancy up our water, if you're a water drinker. I love that. You can just rip open one of these packets, mix it with cold or hot water, and just have an amazing something to drink that gives us these botanicals from the Amazon rainforest that we get to drink so easily like that. I feel like we are absolutely lucky, and there's something for everyone in these product lines. There's anti-aging, there's weight management, there's athletic performance, nutraceuticals, and immune support. And some of the ones that I absolutely love the most are the Vita I take every day. This is good for energy and body support. And this is the Flora gut health one. And I also take the protein for my morning nutrition. And these clean, Ross mentioned the clean labels. For me, that means essentially a excuse. There's no excuse not to like it. There's everything that's easy to understand on the labels. The ingredients are just stellar, and they're all cold processed, so we get those nutrients and the enzymes intact. So there's nothing not to love about this product line, you guys. I think we're really fortunate. And what have you got for us, Jaylee?
Well, I mean, great job on the product. So we talked about the company, talked about the products. And one thing that I will mention is that oftentimes some of these products are less expensive than what you're currently drinking. So you're not going to be spending $4 on a mocha cappuccino latte frothy thing. It's $1 and change for a serving, and they're good for you beverages. So, but I'm going to talk once again, about leveraged compensation. And so with FuXion, right now, there are 13 different ways to get paid. So, and what's great is that you don't have to know all of this right now. You will learn that as we go. But there's car bonuses, there's luxury car bonuses, there's housing bonuses, or if you want to rent, a place for you to conduct your business. But you get to tap into both the leverage sales by building a customer base. And building a customer base just means that you are, like Karen said, sharing it with people that are already drinking, the coffees, teas, sodas, energy drinks, and sports drinks. So that's the leveraged part. But then it turns into residual, because your customers are going to love these products so much that they're going to order them time and time again. So that's where you get to tap into the residual. So that's just the part of the leveraged compensation. But another piece that I want to touch on is the training and support. So like I had mentioned, I am not a business owner at all. I never was. I never thought that I could afford to own my own business. And so what's great about FuXion and this entire business model is that the training and support is above and beyond what I would ever thought, because like Penny had said, it's a cooperative business model. So it is in my best interests to make sure that you, the brand new person, are getting all of the support and training that you need. But what I'm more excited about is that we are tapping into some really cutting edge, modern, rapid learning techniques of learning how to do this business, which is so exciting. I mean, I'm so excited to potentially share one day the science behind it. And so it's something that's easy that anybody can tap into, whether you're a previous business owner or whether you are fresh out of high school. You know, the training and support are above and beyond. I think that I'm looking at my notes. I think that that's all that I wanted to say about the training and support. So I'm going to send it back to you, Ms. Penny.
Yes, it's great because, you know, it's a way to have your own business. It's your own business. I mean, it works or doesn't work because of you and your effort. And it takes something, but it's your own business, but you're not alone. You know, I love that we get to work with teams of people and fabulous mentors in this business and really take that entrepreneurial journey together to create a lifestyle. I mean, for myself, it has become a lifestyle that really I couldn't have even envisioned in my imagination. It's beyond my wildest dreams to get to have the time, the travel, the memories, the family time, the time now with my grandchild whenever I choose, and it's just so fabulous. And I just want to tell you that what we have seen is this kind of an opportunity doesn't come along very often. You just don't see all these factors coming together. And basically, especially the fact that while this is a startup in the US, while we're just launching the US, this is not a startup. It is a successful company in 14 countries that's not only in all the Latin American and Mexico, but also now opening Europe and Spain. And so it's a conscious company, it's a global company, and I'll bet your neighbor on either side has never heard of it, you know, and maybe you haven't either. So that's why we are so excited to share this, because we know that there is hope and possibility attached to this. Like I said earlier, whether that is for some extra health this year, some extra energy, or the ability to create an extraordinary life. And so I hope that you have heard something here that might be intriguing tonight. I want to thank everybody for sharing the stories and the great information. You guys were awesome. And I invite you to get back to the person that invited you to this presentation. And, you know, maybe you just want to try some great products and become a customer, or maybe you see something for yourself here. And if so, I want to let you know to do inquire about our fabulous business and professional packages that you could get started with literally everything you need, products to sample and great business tools and audio training. We really have put together just everything that you need to be successful. So thanks so much for joining us tonight. And we do this every Thursday, and we look forward to seeing you in the future. Thanks, and have a great, great year.
Bye.
Bye.